We're here with JEff Jorge. JEff, tell us about East Coast MMA.
What's up, guys? How are you? Just want to welcome you guys to East Coast MMA and Fitness here in Hicksville. A little bit about the facility. Been in business for about 4 years now. Myself, I'm one of the founders of the facility, along with Anthony Walter and Sensei Neil Gonzalez. Right, kind of grew up together in this whole entire venture that we got into at this point, and we're doing phenomenally well. A little bit about the school, right? We offer mixed martial arts here with a huge Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy in terms of for kids, in terms for adults. So we're very focused on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu aspect of the industry itself, right? Offering that self-confidence for kids, building that discipline for them through martial arts. Our main focus is really kids, right? We really feel that kids can benefit so much from martial arts. Professor Anthony and Neil, they've been training since they were in their teens, 5 years old. And these guys grew up in martial arts. They're doing phenomenal. They married 2 kids. They're really on the right path all the time. And we are true believers that it's all about martial arts. That's how they got there. That's how they were able to accomplish that. My son's been training since the age of 3 years old. I train, my wife trains. So the gym has to offer all those benefits. Everything that we believe in, we kind of pass that forward.
Now, you said you've been training for a while. How's training changed your lifestyle?
Training's changed my lifestyle tremendously. So I'll tell you a little bit about my background, right? I've been in the telecommunications business for roughly 20 years now. I do telecom consulting for major companies like T-Mobile, AT&T. So any company that brings me on board, I help them, expand into the market. I help them launch new markets, primarily in the prepaid sector, which is like the undocumented market. That's my specialty. That's my forte. I fell in love with martial arts training because I needed an alternative from doing powerlifting and bodybuilding for many years. And I used to play semi-pro football. I was looking for something else. I was tired of the same routine that I was in. My injuries were kind of setting me back, so I wasn't training anymore. Changed my life in one of the biggest ways, where it's made me lose about 100-something pounds now in the last few years, just through consistent training. I go one day on, one day off, and it's changed my life in terms of business itself. I'm able to think more, clearly. I'm able to work through difficult things. Anybody who trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu understand that. I mean, it's tough, and you're training mixed martial arts, you're training kickboxing. Sorry, I'm trying not to get run over by a kid. You're training kickboxing and all this, right? It kind of puts you in a position where you got to think through. It's a process, right? So all that's really helped me and translated into my business lifestyle as well as my personal lifestyle. I'm a much better person in terms of being at home. I've been married for 15 years now. So, life is sweet. My wife is happy, so I think martial arts really helps that out. Plus, she trains as well. So it's cool.
That's awesome. Now tell us how you kind of, met Anthony Walter and your other instructor, Neil. Tell us kind of how you guys kind of came about.
Absolutely. So we started at Tiger Schulman's. And at Tiger Schulman's, I was a student there, and I decided to, one day I said, I was sick and tired of traveling to these tournaments. My son's very competitive, right? And I was sick and tired of going to all these tournaments in Jersey and paying for crazy tolls and all these expenses that were going on. So while I was in Tiger Schulman's, before East Coast MMA was born, we actually formed a tournament company, and it was called East Coast Grappling. And we launched East Coast Grappling, and we did our first tournament in Bethpage, New York. We had about 600 competitors. We were so scared because we had a line all the way outside to Hempstead Turnpike covering the DMV over there. We ran out of change. All of us were hitting every gas station, running up and down, getting change to be able to get these, get people to pay and give them back change and all these things. It was crazy. So we were very successful in that. And then we said, I got another crazy idea a couple of days later, and I called them up. I said, let's open up a school. And they said, you're nuts. I said, no, man, we could do it. Listen, we were so successful in this tournament, we could get it done. You guys are like, the best. I really believe in you guys. And I believe in your instruction. I believe in your abilities. And you know what? Let's just turn this into reality. And we started drawing up pictures with Zebra and renderings, and then Anthony is like 2 a.m. sending me images, Neil's sending me ideas, and I'm just compiling all this together. And then I said, you know what? It's done. They're like, what do you mean it's done? I said, I'm going to go out and hunt for a place. This is the design of the future East Coast MMA. So we were in Woodbury, when we opened up in a warehouse. We had a ring set up and everything. So we moved from there because there wasn't really much growth there. There wasn't foot traffic like we have here. But anyway, bottom line is, we got together and East Coast opened up. And we were like, okay, now it's time to bring in some students, right? And, here we are 4 years later. East Coast is around and it's strong. It has a strong name. We have a strong presence in the entire, market, not only just here, but I think nationwide. We have people that recognize us. We have a huge kids competition team. So, that's very, very big. We go to every tournament, 20, 30 kids. Speaking of tournaments, we have the New York Jiu-Jitsu Championship that's coming up March 25th next week. We have about 35 competitors going into that tournament. That's huge. When we go to Naga tournaments, we go with about 20, 25. We go to New Breed. We're always taking, first place in the youth division. So that's huge, right? So all that combined, it really talks about just the gym itself, right? Everything that our instructors do for it. It's all really, there's a lot of magic that happens here. So East Coast came about between all three of us together, right? All of us together, and at the same time, there's a lot of magic going on in here, so which is cool,
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your fight team. So you guys compete a lot at tournaments. Anthony just fought at
Correct.
Triton Fights. Tell us a little bit about your fight team.
So our fight team, right, it's really handled by Anthony and Neil. They both handle the fight team, themselves. They handpick who's going to go out there. They really work with the fighters. I'm more on the kids section, right? I train with the kids. I work the kids out. I get the kids getting ready for tournament training, things like that. So our kids fight team is huge. I can tell you one thing. I believe that tournaments make kids better, right? So I take kids to every tournament and every level. Reason why is because a lot of these kids will never go out there and go for it unless you put them out there and teach them how to go for it. Right? They're shy kids. These kids don't, they don't believe in themselves. But guess what? They go out there and they expose themselves and they're under that pressure. They do phenomenal. That kid's going to be changed for the rest of his life. But our fight team in terms of kids is phenomenal, right? We have a huge fight team for kids. Our adult fight team, as you know, Anthony and Neil is going to be interviewing next. He can tell you guys a lot more about our adult fight team that we have. They really handle that. But we have a phenomenal family in here. We have a phenomenal team as well,
Excellent. Anything else you want to add before we sum it up?
I really just want to add, just if you're in the area, definitely stop by East Coast MMA and Fitness. As you guys know, we're located in Hicksville. Come check out a class anytime you guys want. Check out our amazing instructors, Anthony Walter, Neil Gonzalez. Definitely come out here and just give it a shot. I mean, it's fun. Stop by. Everybody's always welcome to come in and just train. We're all about a family here.
Awesome. Thank you, JEff Jorge. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, man.